Hey you guys, what's up? So for tonight, we'll be talking about the learner-centered learning. Where here I'm supposed to demonstrate it how, and we're gonna be discussing about how it works. So first and foremost, what is being a learner? So being a learner is having the courage to have that proper learning that a certain school has provided. So it is having the courage to be able to have maximize the whatever possible ways of achieving certain learning. So for example, if you're in a room and you're a student, you are obliged to listen and to contribute whatever you can contribute in order for a healthy discussion. Okay. And students learner centered learning, it is where the students who are centered, so as they are the center of learning, students are obliged to have to acquire that same capacity of a teacher to acquire certain information, or to acquire a certain topic given by a layout or an outline from the teacher. So for example, if I am the teacher, then my class is practicing a certain method of learning, which is the learner-centered method, wherein you guys, I let you guys have your own ways of acquiring some of my topic. For example, I want to discuss first, given the idea that in this generation, we have a new way of learning, we have a new way of acquiring new information. So first, I will tell you to do a research. To do a research about this certain topic that I hold. So the role of the teacher in a learner-centered learning is is to guide the students, For the students have much more um, ideas on how to acquire it and how to get that specific information. So the students who are obliged to do the task as what I have mentioned to do on my activity, so on my topic, so they will find ways. They must be the one to find ways on how to acquire the information. So in the place wherein the teacher told you to do a research and do your own ways on acquiring whatever you search, and at the same time understand whatever whatever you got, then as a place of a student, as me being a student, the only the main thing that I will do is, yes, to acquire whatever topic that my teacher will introduce, or the teacher that or my teacher had introduced. The next, we'll be doing the research. So what are the kinds of way to be able to acquire information? So you can have it via the online platform, which is using the Google. But I mind you that using Google sometimes is a bit chaotic, since there are lots of information present in Google. So the main thing you will do is to verify the content that you are about to that you are about to learn. So yes, it is a main thing that all students must do, because sometimes other informations are kind of tricky or sometimes false. That's for you to be aware. That's for the students to be aware. Since learner-centered learning is the task, is the student's task. Most of the task is for the students. You are there to analyze what you have gathered. You are there to solve whatever problems you are getting about upon upon achieving the information that you are searching for. So as a student, you need to be careful in this kind of learning method, since it is not the teacher's fault if oh, it can be the teacher's fault, since the aftermath discussions upon upon letting you have that research is something that 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 will give also an outcome for your learning. But still, the way you have acquired, the way you have analyzed what you have what you have researched will play a role in your learning area. Why? Because it is the first degree of learning. It is what you have it was what you have acquired first any before any further discussion given by the teacher. So whatever you have understood on your research, it may somehow affect how will you learn when the teacher discusses. So be mindful that in learner-centered learning, the students must be responsible on how they acquire the knowledge. You must really analyze what you have acquired. Since you can gather around data from the internet, you can also gather around from some previous writers, theorists, journalists, and even authors. Because sometimes learning can be found in not just in ready-handed written learning materials, but also from the various types of information pools. Okay, so be mindful about be mindful on how you interpret whatever information you have gathered under that given topic. That's a certain thing that a student must do. And in a classroom wherein learner-centered method is practiced, you will notice that teachers have nothing much to do. So teachers don't do too much load, don't do too much task on themselves, since they have given the students the task themselves. So is the learner-centered learning advisable, or is the learner-centered learning a good way of teaching? So basically, for me, as what I have understood on the learner-centered teaching, students may not just develop one intellectual capability, but they can develop more than what they can in doing the traditional way of teaching method, which is the teacher-centered learning.